I think I actually need to pull up the camera so I can show it to you a little bit better. Hey everyone, this is Sir back with another video, and today I would like to show you one of my all-time favorite games, which is in my top 10. A little spoiler for my top 10 list that should follow sometime this or next month. Rome by Ryan Laukat. As you might have seen, I am a big fan of Ryan Laukat's games. I have 4 games at home, and they are all in the top 10 currently. So yes, I really like the design of his games, and this is actually the first game I played that was designed by him. I backed this on Kickstarter, I don't know, like 2 years ago, approximately, like pretty much in the right at the beginning when I was active on Kickstarter. So let me show you the game. So this game, like most of Ryan Laukat's games, also plays in Arsium, the world he has created where most of his games take place. And it's a land of ancient civilizations, bizarre creatures, unexplained wonders, and vibrant characters. And there has a great sleeping sickness spread across the land, sending every type of creature to wander for hundreds of miles in a dazed, incoherent march. And it's our job to seek them out and wake them from their sleep, recruiting them to help them find even more lost souls. So this game is mainly a puzzle game. So let me guide you through the setup first, and then I will explain the game to you. So first we take 6 land cards, and we will put them all in a 3x2 grid. Like this. I think I actually need to pull up the camera so I can show it to you a little bit better. Just give me a second. I'm back, and now we have a little bit more room. So let's see, like this. Let's get my tea out of the way. Alright, and the rest of the cards are just put right beside the map here. Then each player takes 1 of 3 starting cards. They are all pretty much just flavor, like different characters, but they do have the same shapes here. So of course I will take red, like that. And, oh, that's actually the microphone in the way. All right. And the other players will also take characters. But the interesting thing about the game is now you're sitting around the table, and the other player, for example, the blue one, let's get this out of the way. The blue player, for example, has these same characters, but the shapes are different because he sees them from his perspective. You see, this shape is now different than this one, and that's one of the main ideas of the game. All right, so let's say we set up for a 2-player game. That's fine like that. And now that's almost it. Now each player receives wooden tokens in his or her color. I'll just put them here. And also the blue player, like this. Give me a second, please. There we go. Let's just put them here. And then each player will also get some coins. The first player doesn't get anything. The second player gets 1 point. Let's say the second player is the blue one over here. And the third player gets a coin, and the fourth player even 2. And that's pretty much it. There are a few variations you can play with. So first of all, there is some artifacts you can use. So here are some artifacts. You always have 3 artifacts that can be bought, and when any one of them is purchased, you flip over a new, or you put a new artifact there, like this. Okay, so now the game works pretty simple. Let's say I begin first. I have these 3 shapes to look for other creatures on this map. And of course, I did it incorrectly here because we need to have the map in the middle. So we turn these around like that. And now you see we have like a map here in the middle. And so for example, let's say I want to look here, then I turn over this card and I will just put the shape to look for creatures here. So now there were 2 coins I covered and there's another coin. So these 3 coins I will receive and put them into my stash like this. So if you're wondering about the components, I usually go all in for Ryan Laukat's games because I like them too much. And these were some metal coins that were in the deluxe edition, but I think you might still be able to get them on his page, on his webpage of Red Raven Games. So, and that was my turn. And now it's the other player's turn. The other player, let's say, use the exact same shape, but of course it will be turned around because the player is sitting on the other end of the table. So the player will, for example, just go here like this and also get 3 coins and turn around his card. And that's pretty much how this works. There are a few different things you can also do during your turn. You can always, you see there are some of these fields that are not completely filled out like this. And if you pay a coin, so usually you would only place this one marker there, for example, just there. But if you pay 2 coins, put them back into the supply, then you can also play one of these not filled in squares like this. And there are cards that have more than 1 square that is not filled, and then you have to play like 2 coins for each of those if you want to place them. That's a pretty cool thing. So you do have some variability there. And as soon as one card is filled up with tokens, like this, for example, then you check which player has the most tokens on the card. In this case, it would be me. So I would take away these tokens and I would claim the card. What does it do? Well, I actually would find someone. For example, here, Mac, the mechanist, was dismantling an ancient engine. So you always see like what these characters were doing when you found them. And you see, I have a new pattern I can use to look for further people here, for further creatures in the entire country here, in the entire land. And then we put another card here. And that's pretty much the gist of the game. There's still a few other things we can do. So when all characters are turned around, when you used all of them. So if they turn around, you can't use them anymore. Like this. Then you can, when it's your turn again, turn all of them around for free. That's a rest. So you're doing a rest. But what you can also do, you can also have an early rest. So let's say I use these 2 characters, but I haven't used that one yet. And I don't want to use it now. I want to use one of those. I want to have all my characters rested again. What you then can do is you pay as many coins as you still have characters face up. So this character the player would have to pay 2 coins to turn that one back up. And I would have to pay 1 coin to turn these 2 back around. So just put 1 coin in the supply. And then I could turn them all over again, have my early rest, and use all of them again. Of course, this gets more complicated, more expensive, the more characters you have at the end. The end will be triggered, or the game will end when the first player has 10 characters lying here, including the 3 starting characters. So you need to find 7 characters and add them to your roster. And then you count the points. You see here, not the starting characters, but all the other characters you can get. They have like a point counter down here. You calculate all those points, and the player with the most points is the winner. And that's pretty much it. There are still a few extra rules here. So first of all, you can play with the outpost card. This card will just lie right beside the gaming table at all times. And the first player that completely surrounds an opponent's marker. So for example, let's say the opponent's marker was there and I would be able to somehow completely surround it here at some point, which is very hard to do, of course, then I would be able to claim the outpost card, which gives me another additional 3 points at the end of the game. Also, we have artifacts. You can play with them. I usually always play with them because I think they make some nice mitigation and also a little bit of kind of engine building. So if you pay the amount of coins that is noted here on the left, you can then buy an artifact. And this will give you, first of all, points at the end of the game. Again, 1, 3, and 2, as you can see here. But also it gives you power. So, for example, if I had this pickaxe, I could just use the power and get a coin. But then the power is used, and it's similar to the characters being turned around. I can't use it anymore. I can then use it when there is a rest, and I turn around all characters. Either it's an early rest I pay for, or it's the regular one. And then I can also turn around all my artifacts and use them again. So at the beginning, you can use artifacts quite often because you turn around your characters all the time. But when you have like 7, 8, 9 characters lying here, then it takes longer for you to be able to reset your artifacts. That's a very interesting addition to the game, and I would recommend to always play with this mode because it's much more fun, and you have many more possibilities than just the cards. But if you play it with people who don't play games very often, you can teach this to pretty much anyone because it's very, very simple without the artifacts, and it's very fun too. And then there's one more thing. I don't know what happens if you find the game, if you order the game now, if you get that, or if it's a Kickstarter exclusive. But there actually was like a small, like a mini expansion in here. So what happens is every player gets like an additional card here with like gems on there and gemstones in his or her color. And what happens when you find someone, for example, this creature we found before, not only you can add it to your roster, but you can also put this shape without the not filled in ones, only the filled in ones. You can put these gems anywhere here on the map. And at the end of the game, you see how many gems you have completely covered and which type of gems they are, and you get these points additionally at the end of the game. It's just to spice up the game a little bit more. To be honest, I would always play with the artifacts, but I don't prefer playing with the gem expansion here because it just convolutes the game, in my opinion, because the game is really slick. It is very, very simple. And the Gems expansion just bloats it a little bit, and it doesn't really make the game more exciting, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because usually when I play without the expansion, I tend to do better than with the expansion. I don't know why. I just think that this is a great experience, Rome, and you don't need that. But you can try it with that in case you can get that. You can try it. Maybe you like it a little bit more. So yeah, that was pretty much the review of the game. I think I covered all the rules. I hope I didn't miss anything. So what do I think of the game? Well, I already said it in the beginning of the video. First of all, I really do like Ryan's games. I think they are all designed extremely well. They are extremely creative, and none of them can be replaced by any other game. They are all like really unique and great. So far, I've only played 4 games so far, but I will of course expand my Ryan Laukat collection. This game is one of the greatest in so far that it's really simple. It's very easy to set up. You can set it up in 3 minutes if you know the game. You can teach it in 4 to 5, especially without the expansion, to new people, which I wouldn't recommend because the expansion is great. I mean the artifacts cards, and it plays quite quickly. You can play it in like 30 to 60 minutes. So it's a really great game. The art is wonderful as usual. And it does have a puzzly aspect, but the puzzles are not overwhelming. There are puzzle games where you easily get analysis paralysis. This is, in my opinion, not the case here because it's pretty simple. I mean, you have 36 squares you can fill in. You know you have to fill one card, be the one with the most tokens, and you know which shapes you have, and that's pretty much it. Of course, the game tends to take a little bit longer toward the end because you have more characters to choose from, and then you start to think more about which shapes you could put where. Of course, this is one thing that happens towards the end, but this is what makes the game so great, because it's really simple. It starts simple, but you get more and more choices the more characters you receive. And the more choices you have, the more possibilities you also have. And the more possibilities you have, the easier it is to actually fill up those cards. But also then the competition between the players gets bigger. So I think it has a really great growth. And this is what not a lot of games are able to do. This growth, just this the more possibilities that arise during the game. So this is a really good thing about the game. So I would wholeheartedly recommend it, especially if you don't know any Ryan Laukat games and you don't want anything story heavy like Above and Below, or even my newest addition to the collection, Sleeping Gods. If you want something very lore light, so to speak, because you only have these small sentences, which are great, by the way. But otherwise, you have a really good puzzle game. So I would wholeheartedly recommend it. If you know the game, if you have played it, let me know how you like it. If you like it as much as I do. But I'm a really huge fan of this game. And that should be pretty much it. I think I didn't miss anything. So if you're still watching this video, thank you for sticking to the very end. This should be all I wanted to say about the game. Add one thing. Let me just add one thing. Actually, can I find it now? Oh, I think I don't. There it is. So, what I like to do is, because I play a lot of solo games too. So what I like to do is go on BGG and see if there are any solo variants, because this game cannot be played solo, at least out of the box. But there is a variant online. A solo variant you can find on BGG. I will try to link it in the description if I don't forget. If I do forget, let me know, then I can add it. But it's the solo variant Plague of Sleep. That's the variant I tend to play off and on. Not too often, because I do have a lot of other games that do have solo modes out of the box. But this is a very good solo mode you can play. I just printed it out in a booklet form. I made my own cover. And this is only, like I put it all in Word. And then you have everything on the inside here. I have like a little cover, and I always put this in the box. Just so in case I want to play the game and nobody is available at the moment or doesn't want to play it, so I can play it solo. This is a good solo variant. I can also recommend that one in case you have the game and you have always wondered if you could play it solo. Yes, you can. Just one little warning, this variant is pretty tough. Alright, then that's pretty much it. Thank you for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care everyone. Bye bye.